Hey everybody, I'm Christopher McSweeney.
And I'm Tim Shabanowitz.
And today we have Lesson 7 Materials, which is starting to really get us to the point where we're not just thinking about design, but also the experience on both sides.
Yeah, you actually get to feel some things real soon.
Good. So you want to take us into this reflection from Dr. William Presley?
Sure. At Westminster, excellence means working at the very edge of one's ability until personal limits are stretched and extended. So take a couple seconds, 30, 40 seconds. Think about what that means to you. Think about what it means about the project and work ethic and all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, so we actually are not going to talk a ton. In fact, this will probably be one of the shorter videos. Because
I think we always say that, but that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
I know. And then we get into it, right?
Yeah.
But for real, the talking points are very minimal because what we want you to do is actually start sketching out some of these ideas because you need to start working through the sound, texture, feeling, light, and shape. And the way you do that is what we talked about with sketching. How do you get better at sketching? You sketch. So that's what we need you to do. You are going to fill out these spaces, okay? All of these elements interact with the other one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't have one, and not one of these can be in a vacuum. You have to, they all interact with each other, and you have to figure out how that actually works. But it helps at the beginning to separate them out so you can at least control how one looks versus the other.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a quick example. Shape. If we look at shape, what's the predominant shapes in the space? Now we're talking about what's there already. And how are you going to use shape to meet your client's needs and wants? So for instance, in year one, we did a room and we were really big on hexagons, and they wanted hexagon. One of the designs that came out was a hexagon
pinboard.
Yeah. So we had to design this thing, but we got what was that material called?
The Homasote, which is something you can pin stuff in. It's like recycled paper pulp.
Yeah,
put together,
and it works really well, but it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So we could easily produce a hexagon shape out of that.
Right.
It did help with the sound because it will absorb some of the sound and dampen that, which is great. But it was ugly. It had
it's gray. It's a ugly gray.
It looks like a raw material.
Yeah.
And I mean, it did have texture and stuff, but it wasn't matching the feeling. Mm-hmm. So we needed to add a fabric over that to make it look better, to match the feeling, match the texture and all that stuff. And that also added a layer of sound absorption.
So what happened with that? You had texture and feeling. You started to fiddle with the sound, and you had to deal with a different shape than what you did. So you already touched that one aspect of that room, touched 3 of these boxes. Now with light, I'll go with another one in our year 2 project. We have a window at one end of the room, but it's hard to get light all the way over to the other side of the room where predominantly where the teacher and the students would be. So how do you get that light over there while still having divisions in the space? Well, the students designed a wall that had slats in it that allowed, even when it was closed and defining the space, it allowed light to come on all the way through and reach the back of the classroom. So you were able to do that. That was made out of wood. We painted it a good gray, not a bad gray.
That's right.
And it just kind of had that homey feel when it was up and when it is up and and activated. And it also, because there's slats in there, it starts messing with the sound a little bit, kind of diffusing the sound between one space to another. So in that case, we're really predominantly dealing with the light, the sound, texture, and feeling. And, the shape was a rectangle, but you can kind of identify, okay, that's the story that I'm starting in this space.
Yes, absolutely. So go through this, each box, really spend time reflecting. We want to know the current situation. We don't need the Iliad, though. In that. That's why we gave you a smaller box for that. What we want you to do is to start telling the story of how you envision all of these elements coming together. So take time, go through this. There's an extra space for notes over on the left-hand side of the book, because there might be an element that doesn't quite fit in this category, but this is for you to just have at it.
Right. Yeah. What are what I would do is you've already started doing some iterations of floor plans earlier on, maybe your first or second idea. Start there. Think about the things that you might want to add there and start there. And then from there, you'll get more ideas and more ideas. So this is a stream of consciousness, aka you're just continuing to go. And by the time we get to picking designs, you'll have a whole bunch to choose from.
Awesome. Well, we hope this video helps, and good luck.
And we'll see you on the next one.